6.C North Atlantic Current, also called North Atlantic Drift, part of a clockwise setting ocean current system in the North Atlantic Ocean, extending from southeast of the Grand Banks, off Newfoundland, Canada, to the Norwegian Sea, off northwestern Europe. It constitutes the northeastward extension of the Gulf Stream. The latter issues from the Gulf of Mexico and gradually emerges as the North Atlantic Current in mid-ocean. Major branches of the current include the IR, Norway, and Canary Currents. IR Current, branch of the warm North Atlantic Current, flowing generally westward along the south coast of Iceland. Canary Current, also called Canary Current, part of a clockwise setting ocean current system in the North Atlantic Ocean. It branches south from the North Atlantic Current and flows southwestward along the northwest coast of Africa as far south as Senegal before turning westward to eventually join the Atlantic North Equatorial Current. Bella Current, oceanic current that is a branch of the west wind drift of the southern hemisphere. It flows northward into South Atlantic Ocean along the west coast of southern Africa nearly to the equator before merging with the westward flowing Atlantic South Equatorial Current. 8 www.visionis.in copyright Vision IACE. Q27.a solid waste can be converted into heat and electricity in a number of ways. Depending on its source, these processes include combustion, pyrolysis, gasification, liquefaction, pelletization. Pyrolysis is the thermochemical decomposition of organic material at high temperature and in the absence of oxygen or in an atmosphere of inert gases. Combustion means the thermal treatment of solid waste in a device which uses elevated temperatures as the primary means to change the chemical, physical, or biological character or composition of the waste. Pelletization of municipal solid waste involves the processes of segregating, crushing, mixing high and low heat value organic waste material and solidifying it to produce fuel pellets or briquettes, also referred to as refuse-derived fuel RDF. The process is essentially the method that condenses the waste or changes its physical form and enriches its organic content through removal of inorganic materials and moisture. The calorific value of RDF pellets can be around 4,000 kilocalories/kilograms depending upon the percentage of organic matter in the waste, additives and binding materials used in the process. Q28.a Dodona and Ongar were the two most important administrative systems of Vijayanagara Empire. The Ongar System, it was an important feature of the village organization in Vijayanagara. According to this, every village was a separate unit and its affairs were conducted by a team of 12 functionaries who were collectively known as the Ongars. They were granted tax-free lands mandates which they were to enjoy in perpetuity for their services. Once granted, these Ongars had a hereditary right over their offices. The Ongars could also sell or mortgage their offices. For justice, very harsh punishments like mutilation of body, throwing to elephants were delivered. The Ongar system. Under this system, the king was considered to be the owner of the soil and he distributed the lands to his Nalakas. Nalakas had to pay a fixed annual financial contribution to the imperial exchequer which, according to the Chronicle of Nanais, was generally half their revenue. They were required to maintain a sufficient number of troops for the king and serve them in his war. The Nalaka enjoyed greater freedom in his province. There was no system of transfer from one district to another. Q29.8 The president can be removed from office only by parliament by following the procedure for impeachment. The only ground for impeachment is violation of the Constitution. However, the Constitution does not define the meaning of the phrase equals violation of the Constitution. 9 www.visionis.in copyright Vision IACE. The impeachment charges can be initiated by either House of Parliament. These charges should be signed by 1/4 members of the House that framed the charges and a 14 days notice should be given to the President. After the impeachment resolution is passed by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership of that House, it is sent to the other House, which should investigate the charges. The President has the right to appear and to be represented at such investigation. If the other House also sustains the charges and passes the impeachment resolution by a majority of 2/3 of the total membership, then the President stands removed from his office from the date on which the resolution is so passed. Q30.b The power to make rules for enforcement of provisions of 10th schedule lies with the presiding officer of the House. So Speaker of Lok Sabha makes rules for Lok Sabha and Chairman of Rajya Sabha makes rules for Rajya Sabha. Statement 1 is not correct. The presiding officer can resort to defection only if any member of House gives a complaint against it by new Supreme Court decision. Any person who is not even the member of the House can complain to the presiding officer about the defection. Presiding officer has to give a chance to the accused person to put his side in front of the House before taking the final decision. Statement 2 is correct. 91st Amendment Act amended the Constitution to insert this condition. Any member of the House or state legislature who is disqualified